episode of The Intellectual Stew with yours truly, James Kirklin. Hey, what's up, Disco? I know you tired. He tired tonight, so he ain't rocking with us like that, but that's cool. I have a special guest in the studio tonight. I have Miss Anika Sparks, Dr. Anika Sparks. Say hello, doctor.
Hello.
Hello. So what? First of all, I want to recap. I want to thank everybody so far who has been helping us. Last show we did, I think we talked about tough love. I had Gerald Jennings with us, and my daughter Kennedy was with us. She is not with us tonight. We're going to be dealing with a subject that's probably a little more adult, and I didn't really want her in this subject on tonight. Okay, so I want to thank her. I want to thank Nicole, who came through with Nicole's Nuggets. And Disco is always supportive and here and on time. And I know he gets tired, but I just want to say I appreciate you. And then I also want to thank you to the supporters. Put that first slide up for me. The other day I got an inbox, and when I got that inbox, it was real encouraging. Sometimes you do things and you don't know if people are paying attention to what you're doing, but somebody came in my inbox. I'm not going to say that person's name, but I did ask if I could share. They said, I just wanted to tell you, awesome job on the podcast. I've enjoyed listening to the first one. Keep it up. You're definitely helping me with the nuggets that you're dropping. So it's good when somebody is paying attention and when someone gives you your flowers while you're yet still alive. So it lets me know that this is effective, and I'm thankful for that. But tonight we have a special guest, and I'm super excited about this guest. She and I met on Facebook, actually. I've seen her preaching. I've seen her modeling, wearing her little outfits and all those types of things. And I ain't gonna lie, one day I slid in a DM, amen, and said, nice picture or something along those lines. Well, hush. You weren't supposed to talk this show, okay? No more talking from you. But anyway, I slid in and when I told her nice outfit, and I think that became a kind of a redundant thing. And eventually we had a conversation. I think I just asked you to check out my podcast, didn't you?
You did.
And you said, I'm going to be honest. And you said, can I be honest?
Yes.
And I said, yeah. And you said, well, I'm brutal. I said, well, I'm a man. You said, well, okay, cool. About an hour later, you came back and you said, I loved it. And that meant a lot to me. And I appreciate you for that. And so we ended up kind of starting to fortify, I guess, the beginnings of a friendship, because we kind of talk and we do check on each other from time to time. And I've discovered that she's an apostle. She's a bishop. She's also the pastor of the Worship and Deliverance Center of College Park, Georgia. Beyond that, outside of the church, she's a mother. She was also married for 28 years. I know she looks young, and she is young. I know you have a birthday coming up, and I know you're looking forward to that. Happy early birthday.
Thank you.
But also, she was married for 28 years. That's a long time, 28 years. They have 2 children. Oh, tell me a little bit. Have I left anything out?
2 children. I have 2 grandchildren.
Okay. So 2 children, 2 grandchildren. Was married for 28 years, pastoring, all those types of things. So your plate has been full.
Absolutely.
Your plate has been full. But let's go ahead and jump into it, because one thing she did say, Dr. Sparks, and I'm gonna call her Dr. Sparks. She told me I can call her by her first name. I'm not going to do that, because I know some of her members might be watching, and I don't want them to think that I'm disrespecting her calling at all. So she's going to be Dr. Sparks. If anybody else wants to say a nigga, that's on y'all. I'm not going to say it, okay? But let's get into it, because she told me that nothing was really off limits. I'm not here. It's not a situation where we're trying to blast anybody from their past. But what she and I both came to the common goal, I guess, is to help people. Absolutely. Because there are so many people that are in our position that are transitioning from divorce, because divorce is a lot more common than it used to be. I mean, it's much more common now. Women don't mind leaving. People don't mind getting divorced, because in the old days, the man would leave, because I can think about some people in my family. Mm-hmm. They might leave, but they might not ever get a divorce.
Right.
You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, even if he left, he would still make sure that check got there every week.
Absolutely.
Made sure those kids were taken care of. And I heard something a couple weeks ago, and it really was kind of troubling to me, because there was another young lady, and she was talking about grandmama and them, because grandmama stayed. Mm-hmm. And she basically alluded to that grandmother and them was weak. And I think it was a different kind of strength. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
So what do you think about that?
I don't think that it's that grandma was weak. It's just that's a part of what they did. You know, they had the ability to deal with some stuff that I just don't think that we now as women have the ability to deal with.
Wow, that's good.
So,
That's good. That's good.
But I don't think it was weak. It was just the time that they were living in.
Okay. Put that next slide up for me, Disco. I was looking at an article today. It was by Psychology Today. It says some new data about divorce and non-marital breakups contains an unexpected finding, and I think it underscores the fact that we're in the midst of an ongoing evolution in what people want and seek in their romantic relationships. The study, based on a survey of over 2,000 heterosexual couples, found that women initiated nearly 70% of the divorces. All right, that's good. Women, that's strong. Because earlier today I had a conversation with no statistics. I hadn't researched this yet, and I asked one of my homegirls that I bounce a lot of stuff off of, and she said, "No, she would guess that most men leave the relationships, or most men initiate the divorces. But according to this statistic, 70% do that." And you're saying that a lot of that has to do with the fact that women are not settling anymore.
Right.
Okay.
I don't think that, I believe that 70% because we don't settle anymore. And I think that as women, we are a little bit more liberated. Okay. We don't depend on the man as much. And I do think that some people stay because they do depend on men. So
put that next
now they're able to, get out there, make it on their own.
Isn't that something?
Probably do better. It's one of those things I could do bad all by myself. Wow. All those good things. So yeah, I think 70% is accurate.
I do. Okay.
I do.
And let's look at this one. The psychologist adds that he thinks that marriage is an institution that has been a little slow to catch up with the expectations for gender equality. Because when you look at the institution of marriage, in the old days, how it was, husband went out at work, wife took care of the household. But with gender equality now we're partners and both of us might have to work. So if both of us have to work, then we both need to share in the responsibilities around the house. And if you have this mentality, when this is what he's, put that back up, I'm sorry. And this is kind of what he's alluding to. He says, wives still take their husband's surnames and are sometimes pressured to do so. Husbands still expect their wives to do the bulk of the housework and the bulk of the child care. On the other hand, the other part I don't really care about, but because that part is talking about non-marital relationships. Okay. So, but in marital relationships, that he's suggesting that the institution of marriage has not caught up with the advances of gender equality.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Well, I'm a little old school, so I believe in wife roles and husband roles. So I'm a little old school.
So what's a husband role?
I believe he should go to work.
Okay.
And I don't believe that he has to be the main breadwinner, but I do believe he has to go to work.
Okay.
I do believe that.
I like that.
And I do believe that as a woman, whether she works or not, and a lot of women don't like this, but I'm old school. I believe whether she works or not, she should be at home and she should take care of the home.
Take care of it inside the home.
Cooking, I believe that's a responsibility.
Okay.
I totally believe that.
Okay.
So,
and listen, anybody that's listening and wants to call in, 678-638-6626, but give us a few minutes. In fact, I don't want you to call just yet.
Yeah, don't call in being crazy.
And don't call in being crazy, because I do have a ministry and anointing to hang up on you, and I will do it quickly and swiftly. But beyond that, if you're also watching on Facebook, and you want to see see the actual studio view where you can see us all at the same time, because I need y'all to see Anika and everybody. I want you all to see us. Come in, go to Disco 100 Radio. You can find that on. Can you back that up for me? You can find that on YouTube, Disco 100 Radio. Okay, So let's you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So you were married for 28 years.
28 years.
When did you know it was over?
Truthfully, probably 5 years before the divorce was filed.
The thrill was just gone.
Yeah, I just think that probably sometime before that, although we were both trying to work out some things, we had just changed so much. We wasn't the same people that we were when we got married in our 20s.
Okay.
As women, we grow a little different than men, and we also as we grow, we require more, we expect more.
Okay.
And I think that at some point, not that he's a bad person, I think he's a great person, he's a great man. He was a great provider. But we just grew apart, and we grew different ways.
And we talked about that one day prior
absolutely.
to our conversation. And can you mind if I share what we talked? Because we talked about how in relationships, one of the challenges is to grow together.
Absolutely.
If you're working together, one of the things that you definitely have to do as a unit, not just as the husband, but as a unit, you have to make sure you manage your growth. If you don't manage your growth can start to grow in all different directions.
Absolutely.
You can grow apart, you can grow in different directions, but the way you manage growth is, you pray together, you hang out together, you date one another, and more than anything, you have communication. You know what I'm saying?
The big thing.
And you share, and I'm beyond. That was one thing I didn't do,
right?
Because in my relationship, I think Doc Spy, I think that even if I knew things were messed up or things were out of order, I thought we had time to get it right.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? I figured there would be a time that I could grow up, or we'll grow up, or we'll agree.
That's most men.
That's most men.
That's most men.
Based on what statistics? I'm just joking.
That's most men.
Yeah, but that was me. You know what I'm saying? I mean that's just me being as transparent as I can be. I mean, I knew I had made my mistakes. I knew, and I made some mistakes, man. And I took a lot of things for granted that I certainly should not have taken for granted. But I thought I had. I thought I had
time.
Yeah, and the thing was, I grew up into marriage, but we didn't grow at the same rate.
Yeah, I mean, y'all got married young. So.
Well, I was 26 and she was 23.
Yeah, a little older.
We're a little older than older than you were. Yeah. So but the thing that I think the thing that kept us together so long was our faith foundation.
Yes.
Because honestly, I had messed up so early in the marriage that she was gone. She was out of there. And her mom her mom said, "Did you pray about it?" And she said, "No, I didn't." And so when she knew she didn't pray about it, then she went back to the drawing board, and we made it 14, 15 more years. You know what I'm saying? But I still didn't grow at that rate.
Right.
At a certain point, I think my mistake was so bad that I'm walking on eggshells, and I'm a shell of myself, and I never really reached the potential. Now, I found myself again. You know, I'm back now. Hey, we're hello world, all that kind of stuff. But it had to go through all that. So you said you knew 5 years prior to before. So it took you 5 years to leave.
Yes.
So you really were thinking about leaving 5 years sooner. You just didn't know how to leave.
I'm a pastor.
Okay. So the factors.
Church.
Okay.
People.
Image.
And I wanted to make sure that I wasn't being out of line with God.
Okay.
So it was, so I kept praying and asking the Lord to either change it or remove it. That became my daily prayer. That I need the Lord to fix it, either fix it. And during that time, the Lord kept speaking to me and said, "You do what you're supposed to do. You keep being a wife." And that's what I kept doing, and the Lord told me he was going to take care of me, and eventually, when it was time, and when the Lord released me, a lot of people, they don't believe that. They don't believe that the Lord will release, but I know without a shadow of a doubt that I heard God, and he released me.
So let's talk about those 5 years.
Okay.
Was it noticeable? Did the children, grandchildren didn't know nothing about it?
No, I think my kids are older now, so even when we had problems earlier, they didn't necessarily recognize it. But by this time, my kids are 20, 22, 23. So they begin to notice a lot of stuff. But other people around us, they had no idea.
I want to put a pin right there. Because a lot of people that go through breakups, that go through divorces, and are irrational. That's the word I want to use. Everybody knows their business.
Yeah.
Even my ex and our children didn't know what we were going through. I mean, in 20 years of marriage, and they might have saw us verbally, physically argue
Right.
2-3 times
Right.
at the most, you know, where, because number one, I don't argue. I jokingly said this earlier. I don't argue with people I can't fight, and I don't fight women. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like that. We can have a discussion.
Yes.
We can go back and forth. You know, we can have a communication because we gotta communicate. But when it gets heated, I think that's what you told me.
Right.
When it gets heated, then I'm backing out on
Right.
that, and then we need, because at that point, we need to figure out another way to say the same thing.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Because we're not going to disrespect each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
In a more respectful way.
Yeah, in a
Absolutely.
more respectful way. So it didn't affect the children. It didn't really affect mine like that either. We set eyes down. We talked about it. We said, listen, mom and dad about to go in a different direction, but we're still Team Kirklin. Y'all going to keep playing baseball. Y'all going to keep playing softball. We're going to still be at your games.
Right.
We still going to do all these things.
Parent.
We're still going to parent.
Right.
And we co-parent.
Yes.
We do, man. That's my pop. I mean, we're friends. You know what I'm saying? And she's going through it and she needs help, man. And she ain't got to ask for help half the time. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just that, and she shouldn't. So now, how long have you been divorced?
A little over 3 years now.
So 3 years.
Yes.
And now you're ready to date.
I think I've been ready to date.
So okay, that's okay. Okay. Question actually says, when did you know that you were ready to date?
I'm going to probably say the top of this year.
Beginning of this year.
Yes.
How did you know?
Because I knew that I was healed.
Okay.
And ready and open to it. You know, so I think that the first couple of years I wouldn't say that I didn't want to date, but I knew that I still needed a lot of healing. I mean, you got 28 years, you know, so it's not like, you know, being with somebody for a year or two and then all of a sudden you want to date. And on top of that, I had to find Anika again. You know, I really had to find me. One of the things about me is I say this and some people, they don't understand, but I have a very accommodating personality.
Okay.
So in my marriage, if, you know, he didn't like red hair, my hair was never going to be red.
Okay.
If he liked short hair, my hair was going to be short. If, you know, he liked, you know, certain type of clothes, even if I didn't like those, but because that's what he liked, that's what I did. So once I got divorced, I had to go back and I had to find out who Anika was. I had to find out what Anika liked. I had to learn to build Anika back up. So there was no point. I think it's I think you're gonna find a lot of problems if you divorce and jump right into another relationship, and you haven't healed, and you don't know who you are, and you don't know what you want.
So that's so you said if he didn't like red hair, you didn't wear red hair.
Yeah.
You did. So you were submissive at home and had the pastor.
Yes.
So that's an
So, yes. Absolutely.
oxymoron.
Absolutely.
So did that cause problems at home?
I believe so.
So you think him looking at you lead
Absolutely.
caused problems? Didn't think he could? Did he question?
I believe that caused insecurities.
Okay.
Absolutely.
But you didn't do anything to add to those insecurities.
I try not to.
Okay.
I try not
Just
to.
being Anika, I mean, Dr. Anika.
Yes, yes. But I'm sure I did. I'm not perfect.
Okay.
You know, I wasn't perfect in the marriage.
Because you're a Cancer. and I mean, when I say Cancer, I'm talking about July birthday, okay? Or July
I'm
birthday.
June.
She's a June
I'm
Cancer.
June.
So, but, and we Cancers are gifted with those tongues and minds. I mean, quick wit ain't no joke. And we can say it quick and we know how to say it and settle it. You know what I'm saying? So,
You're absolutely correct.
And so with being that, how did you juxtapose or balance those two roles between being the wife and being the apostle?
Well, at the time I was married, I was just a pastor. I think that I became bishop probably the last year
Of the marriage.
of
Well, how did
the
you balance
marriage.
pastoring, but just being pastor versus being Mrs. His wife?
I just did it. You know,
Okay.
I just did it, and I tried. I believe I tried to make sure that when I was home, that I pushed him to be the priest. You know, of the house. But I'm sure that that's a little bit intimidating, and I'm sure that caused a whole lot of insecurities. And I think that is just common when you have women in leadership and the husband is not necessarily in that role.
So what is pushing to be the priest? What does that look like?
take lead.
Okay, you're pushing him to take lead.
Yes.
So come on, baby, pray for us right quick.
Yeah.
So that,
lead, pray, make decisions.
Okay.
Like I love all that. That's one, and me and you talk. I'm an alpha female, so it takes an alpha male.
Gotcha.
And he's very he was very mild temper and laid back, and so sometimes it's always that kind of like push thing that I had to do, and just to make sure that he understood that he was the priest of the house.
So how did y'all meet?
We met in college.
Okay.
We met in college.
Okay, so now fast forward, we're in 2021 now. All right, so the person you were in college and the man you were attracted to in college, and now 28 years of marriage, what are you looking for? I know you're not looking for that same type of guy anymore. Or are you? Let's back that up, or let's back that thing up like this and drop it. Are you even looking for a particular type man?
I'm sure I am.
Because he that findeth a wife.
Yes.
Okay, I'm just asking.
It's not necessarily so you're trying to be funny.
I was.
So it's not. And you just said that he that findeth a wife.
I'm just
nowadays everybody is in your inbox or DM saying that God said that. That you're the wife.
Proper lie on God.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were proper lie.
So as a woman in my position, I have to make sure I have discernment. Because you'll find some women that are very desperate, and as soon as the first man is in their inbox, and
that's a whole different phenomenon.
It really is.
Because like I said, and that was the whole purpose of the title. 2 decades later, 20 years ago, we wasn't doing Tinder. Yeah. We wasn't doing Bumble, and
we did have internet.
Huh? We had internet. 96 partner. We ain't that old.
Internet.
Whoever put him on the camera, put him up in the stuff. But anyway, no, we had internet. But Tinder, Bumble, what else is out there?
I don't know.
You don't do them?
Facebook
dating. You don't do the dating sites?
No.
So because I have done a couple dating sites. I need, you know why I do dating sites?
Why?
Because I need thumb exercise.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I get to reject because it's fun. I'm not ready to. I don't want nobody. I don't want nobody. So I sit there and look at pictures and swipe left, swipe left, swipe left, swipe left. Because you got to put together the perfect profile. You got to use the right words.
You got to lie.
Do they lie?
I'm sure.
You ain't talking. We're not talking.
I'm sure they lie. Again, I'm just old school. I just. I want to date. I want to meet people just,
At the grocery store?
No, I can't say the grocery store necessarily. I just want to meet people the old-fashioned way.
Organically?
Yes.
Face to face?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Start with a regular conversation.
I can do Facebook, but even Facebook's a little, it's a little crazy. Crazy out there, meeting people on Facebook. It's crazy.
And you know what? I don't like to, and this is definitely wasn't going to be a battle of the sexes. Because I don't, we don't do that. I don't do that. I don't want to do that.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to do that. I can, but like I said, I've seen, because people have that point the finger right thing. Women say all men do this, men say all women do this. I did meet somebody one time on a dating site, right?
Okay.
And within the first conversation, she was inviting me to a wedding.
Oh wow.
Yeah, all this stuff. And then she like, when we gonna go out? And then she wanted my phone number. This is like within 45 seconds of the initial and so then I backed like completely up. So later on we met again and she was like, what happened? Why did you back up? I said, it seemed like you wanted to go 1 to 10 and act like it wasn't 2 through 9, nowhere in the middle. Why can't we say, hey, how you doing first? What's your name? Where you from? Because like I'm like you. Let's meet organically. You know what I'm saying? Let's start. And so that has to be harder as a pastor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But you're very social though.
I am very much so.
You're not a recluse. You're not. You're not everything posted in the pulpit. And all that kind of stuff. You go. I think I followed you on your timeline last week. You skating and you doing everything you can. And I think I asked what you're gonna do. You said have fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in those coming and goings is where you might meet whoever this person is. Or whatever.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not traditional. I'm not a traditional apostle. I'm not a traditional.
So are you looking for another pastor or another apostle?
I don't think so.
You don't want to. You don't want
No, I really don't. I really don't think so. I mean,
And this is not a get her dated off show or nothing like that.
yeah, no,
We're
don't
talking
do
about
that,
the
don't do that.
transition,
Yeah,
the transition of moving from divorce into dating. Okay.
yeah,
So,
I think that at first, when I first got a divorce, I was thinking more of, this bishop, this pastor, I was thinking more of that because I'm thinking that that's what I need to cover me. But then I just got to understanding as I began to know Anika, I realized that that's not necessarily what I'm looking for. I'm looking for somebody to take care of Anika.
gotcha.
God got me.
So in other
So
words, you're not necessarily looking for someone to cover you. You're looking for someone to complete you.
complete me.
Yeah.
I'm looking for somebody to complete me. I'm looking for somebody that gets Anika, not the pastor side. I'm just so, and they might be a pastor. I don't know, but you have to understand me as a woman, me Anika.
Gotcha. And I think that's the mistake a lot of people make in dating or choosing who their mate is. They're looking for somebody to patch their wounds.
Yeah, no.
You know what I'm saying? Or they're looking for somebody to kind of give them a quick fix or that euphoric moment or whatever it takes to. But when completion comes, you know what it is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Augustine said that life is like he said that our hearts are restless until we find its rest in Him. And we won't find that rest until we're 100% complete. And I like to use the analogy that life is like a 1,000 piece puzzle. And you're either given, and I do it one of two ways, you're either given 998 pieces or you're given 999 pieces. Yeah. 999, of course, God would complete you.
Absolutely.
998, it would be companionship and God
Absolutely,
complete.
I agree.
So I don't think it's good for man to live alone. I don't think I think we're all supposed to be in relationship.
I agree.
Yeah, because this is boring to sit at home by myself every day. But I know I'm not ready just to let anybody come in because cancers. We only our little shell is only made for one. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be careful.
One.
Yeah. So you have to be very, very, very cautious about who you allow to come into that relationship. So listen, we got about 33 minutes left. So listen, those that are watching through Facebook Live, like I said, if you want to see us in the studio, go to Disco 100 Radio. If you want to chime in on the conversation, you're welcome to do so. Call in at 678-638-6626. Now, I sent you an article today.
You did.
And in that article, the article said how to start dating after divorce. And there were 13 rules from marriage therapists. Sarah Reagan and Dr. Christy Overstreet did this particular thing. Now, there are 13 rules. Disco, if you'll start putting those up, and we're going to discuss these as we go. I think we're only going to look at about 6 of them. Now, this is one you said you don't necessarily agree with. Make that a little bit bigger for me.
I don't.
You don't agree with that one?
Yeah,
I'm gonna cover you up, Mike.
Okay, yeah, cover me up, please. Cover me up. But they can read the rules. The first rule says to be honest. And let me set the stage.
Okay.
Because like I said, this is talking about, these are some rules that marriage therapists say, marriage therapists say that we should do once we start dating after the divorce. And one of the such rules that it says is that we should, whenever you meet your mate, when you feel comfortable enough to start going on a divorce, one of the first things you should do is that you should be honest with them about your past. Now, when I sent you these 13, you agreed with most of them, but this was one of you didn't agree with. Why is that?
I think that we should be honest. I just don't think that at our first date, I need to put all my business on. I don't believe that. And I think that sometimes we have business, and we have, I was telling somebody recently, I said, I'm almost 50.
Okay.
And I said, and most likely whoever I'm dating, they're going to be, they're going to be old too. So we already are coming with baggage. We already have a lot of baggage. We have divorces, we have exes, we have baby mamas, we have children. We already have baggage. And if you come on the table and you putting out your business, I'm going to automatically say no. But if we take time and we get to know each other, I think that's when we're supposed to start putting, some of our dirty laundry on the table, because now I understand you a little bit more. So I just don't agree that you should be honest about your past. Well, not saying you're supposed to lie, but that's not something
That's
we're
not
going to talk
volunteering
about.
information.
Yeah, our first date, I don't want to hear about your ex-wife.
Okay.
I don't want to hear about all the, I don't want to hear about that. That's going to be a turnoff to me.
So what's the first date look like?
My first date?
I'm asking, what does it look like? What's the conversation sound like? What does it look like?
I think it's more getting to know you, what you like, what you don't like, a little bit about what you do, a little bit about what I do, things like that.
So what if you invest 3 or 4 dates and you kind of start feeling this person, then all of a sudden these skeletons start coming out the closet and you like,
Well, I think that as we continue to date, little by little, some stuff should, come out.
And then at that point you can take that exit door if you need to.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Because
I think it takes time though.
I had a woman I met, and I think on the first day she told me that she had cancer, and that her cancer was in remission.
And that turned you off, right?
Immediately.
Exactly.
But it would have turned me off 3 dates down the road.
Not necessarily. After you have grown some type of rapport with her, and you like, well, I really like her. There's some other characteristics that you have found that you liked her. After she told you, that might have been different. But it's because she told you right up front, and you hadn't built anything. You wasn't even like, I feel you like that. So it was easy for you to say, we ain't having another date.
Yeah.
That was easy.
I don't know. I got mixed emotions on that one. I'm not going. Okay. All right. So that's a good one though. I mean, and good points. Good points. If anybody, like I said, if anybody disagrees, agrees, wants to call in 678-638-6626. Huh? You disagree?
No, I agree with her.
I don't disagree with her. No, these are just opinions. This is not a debate. This is just talk. Yeah. All right. So second thing you got to do, we talk about is before you start dating, you need to make sure you take time to grieve your losses.
Absolutely.
You agree with that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so when you consider, let's talk about some of those losses. What all do you lose in a divorce?
Yourself.
Okay, that's first.
Yeah, it depends on who you are. Like I can't say that in my divorce I lost too much. I lost myself. I lost the love of being a wife. The companionship, the friendship. Those are things that I lost, and also attached to that, maybe because of my position, but, I had the shame, there's guilt. Those are things that, I felt like I lost.
And those are the intangible losses.
Yes.
So
absolutely.
now consider the tangible losses. Were there any, but see, and you know what, some of those tangible losses, the ones that I'm referring to, women don't feel those losses. Like me, for instance, I raised my children, and I was in the house with my children all of their life, right? Or all their lives, should I say?
Right.
And now I'm no longer in the house.
Right.
I mean, I lost a lot. You know, in my opinion, if I'm looking at holidays. You know what I'm saying? When we all used to go, say, to her mom's house or whatever, to eat. Now they're going. And I'm not.
Right.
And I'm sitting there looking on Facebook, and they got family pictures coming up, and I'm all this stuff. And then all of a sudden, she looking like, and I told her this, and I might have been a little wrong, but I was like, you looking like the super single mother, like you ain't had no help. And good and well, I wouldn't have on all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We talked about it, and she made a good valid point. You know what I'm saying? Because they're doing that. But those are the things that we lose. Right. You know what I'm saying? We lose. Yeah, we lose the vacations. We lose, and, and sometimes when I moved out and moved in the house, my apartment by myself, and all of a sudden it's nothing but straight silence.
Yeah.
Silence sounds like noise.
Right.
That sometimes when I want to read now, I can't even read in my apartment. I have to go to the mall or somewhere where it's chaotic just so I can concentrate because for all those years, when I was at home, I got my undergrad while they were alive. I got my first master's while they were alive, and I almost finished my second master's. So all of this going on in the house with them, and all this chaos going on at the same time, because that's how I learn in chaos. You know what I'm saying? And so when you start thinking about those losses, you know what I'm saying, and you don't really, and you don't take the time to grieve those losses. You know what I'm saying? So what did your grieving process look like?
There were days where I think I cried, I prayed, I got up and did something. And at some point, maybe 6 months after divorce, I started living I started traveling, I started doing stuff, and but I did it. I wasn't doing it dating. I did it, with family. I did it. And my situation is really a little different. Like,
Okay.
I still have a great healthy relationship with my ex-husband.
Okay.
So like when you were saying holidays, he still come over, on holidays,
Okay.
so we still have a great healthy relationship. So the grieving losses wasn't as bad, for me, because even afterwards, if I needed help financially, he still helped until I got on my feet and, little stuff like that. So it just wasn't that bad. I was just hurt because I like winning.
Yeah.
And
That's the thing.
This
That's the thing.
I took a L here. So
Yeah.
and so that in itself was hard for me because I took a L.
Because you did say till death do you part.
Yeah.
And I meant it.
Absolutely.
And when you say it, you meant it. And then when it doesn't happen, you're right.
Absolutely.
You flat took a L. You took a L. It looked like a form of failure.
Absolutely.
And me as a man, especially a male, I'm a fixer. You know what I'm saying? I want to fix what I broke. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm not given the opportunity to fix what I broke, then I feel inadequate.
Right.
And nothing feels worse to me than not being able to fix what I messed up.
And see, that's me though. That's me. It's because, of course, because the position I'm in, I'm always helping and always trying to fix people. So when I didn't have the ability to fix, my marriage or fix whatever I felt was going on in him, that made me feel made me feel like a failure.
Made you feel like a failure.
Yeah.
Okay. So your grieving process, your grieving process, family helped you get through it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Friends helped you get through it.
Church.
Yeah. How did your church respond?
They supported me. Did
they turn on him?
No.
Okay.
They didn't. They didn't. So they supported me. I'm not quite sure, if they said something to him, and I'm sure he felt a type of way, that they, I was their pastor, so and they know me, and I love hard, so this wasn't a situation where I didn't love, because I love hard, I really do. So.
Okay. All right, so that's good. So now this next one says, when you get ready to date, you got to make sure that you're ready. How did you know I'm ready?
Because I was healed and I was no longer vulnerable. I think one of these questions that was on here was talking about making sure that you're not vulnerable. And because people will take advantage of that. And I knew I wasn't vulnerable no more. And I knew at this point, because I was married for 28 years, I knew exactly what I was looking for. So I know what I want and I know what I don't want.
Okay.
So I wasn't going to sit at a table and you able to feed me a bunch of stuff because I'm still broken. And, you sitting over and telling me how beautiful I am. And I'm like, because, I need all that, because I didn't need that. I know who I was. So at that point, I knew that now it's time for me to date, and I'm going to be okay with dating, and I'm not going to fall for no, crazy stuff. Well, try not to fall for none, because, that's hearsay, but, at least try not to, so.
You got to, so make sure, so you knew that you were ready.
I knew that I was ready.
And so at that point now, you're open.
I'm open.
You're open. Spirit's open.
Yeah.
To receive.
Yeah.
If someone wants to come at you.
Yes.
Now, prior to that, I'm sure they were still coming.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And you were curving them left and right.
Yeah, just, no. They make comments. No, let me take you out. No, that's just.
And that went on. Did that go on immediately? Did that start immediately after your divorce?
It started during the divorce.
During the marriage, but why you still married?
During marriage, during the divorce, yeah.
People knew that you were going through something?
No, they didn't know it.
They just tried.
Men don't care.
Okay. People don't care. But you're right. But sometimes some men don't care.
Some men don't care.
Some men don't care.
They don't care.
Some men don't care. But
yeah, they don't care.
Okay. So they were trying you. Why are you, as a pastor? Why are you still married? And they all trying you at that point.
Absolutely.
And you say you've been divorced how long?
Little over 3 years now.
Yeah, I don't think we've been Facebook friends that long.
No.
Okay, good. So I didn't do nothing.
So you weren't one of the ones.
I wasn't one of the ones. That's cool. All right. So this is another one. Now this one right here is kind of funny because they had the psychologists had a different. They had two schools of thought on it.
Right.
Some said don't do it, but if you're gonna do it, you should do it a certain way.
Yeah.
You're saying, as it relates to dating while you're still divorcing, that means that you're still married legally.
Absolutely.
You still you could be in separate households,
right,
or whatever.
But you're still married.
But you're still married.
So you shouldn't date.
So you shouldn't date for a plethora of reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Give me about 12. No,
one, because you're still married. That's just it. And then the other thing I'm going to say is, as I said before, after you have divorced, you need some time.
Mm-hmm.
You need some time to get yourself together. And people make mistakes jumping into relationship after relationship after relationship. This is just not marriage. They do that, because they think that relationships complete them or make them, and that causes more damage.
Okay.
It causes more damage. So
and at the same time, you've seen marriages end before.
Yeah.
I mean, thank God could change your heart, or anything a person could change, all types of things. And if they, well, they could.
Well, I just feel like this is just me. If I wanted to divorce and think about getting back together, I should have just did a legal separation.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I think that with some of us, I think when you get to the point of divorce, you've already at some point been in the separation place. So I just don't think that people should be divorcing and just getting back together.
Really?
Yeah, that's just me. I don't know.
I know a lot of people do that.
Well,
a lot of old people.
That would mean that they made a mistake.
The divorce was a mistake.
The divorce was a mistake. Yeah. That's how I look at
it. Or when you found Anika, when you got separated or divorced, he might have found himself as well.
That's true.
And then you present yourself back.
Right. Y'all come back as two different people, though.
Yeah, and you are. But you have to come back as two different people. And because that's one thing about it. When I went through my process and my divorce, I was depressed.
Mm-hmm.
Because the way my thing was, she moved out first. Then I moved out because we were renting at that time. Mm-hmm. I moved out and moved in my apartment. If I moved in my apartment on Sunday, I got fired from my job on Monday.
Right.
So then I go back home and I ain't work. I probably hadn't had a job since then. Now I make money, but I hadn't had a job since then. But I was so depressed that I literally went home and was stuck on the couch. Yeah. Probably for a year and a half. I would go out and work gigs, and make money here and there. But I was literally stuck on that couch almost for a year and a half.
Wow.
Because, let me tell you how bad I was, and this is just me being 100% transparent. I was so messed up because I had been used to sleeping with somebody beside me for 18, 19 years that I slept on the couch because it felt like somebody was behind me or next to me.
Right. I can understand that.
I would sit up and watch TV until 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, fall asleep on the couch. Mm-hmm. Go get in the bed. This is real talk. Go get in the bed. Couldn't sleep. Get right back up 45 minutes later and get right back on the couch and start my whole day over again. Yeah. I hated my days. You know what I'm saying? But that ain't had nothing to do with dating while divorced. But but you're saying you shouldn't date while you were divorced. Because at that point, I thought we were just separated.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know.
I thought y'all was going to get back together.
Yeah, I did. She had made up. Like you said, you started leaving 5 years prior to you actually leaving.
Yeah, but it was still in the same house. We've never split and said you go stay there, you go.
And we did the same thing.
We were separated in a house.
Oh, and then divorced, and he didn't move out till after the divorce.
Yes, he moved out after the divorce.
We were separated probably for a year, maybe a year and a half. If I finish up, I think October of 17 is when I moved out. I think January of 19 is when the divorce became final. So her intentions, because like you said, she had started that move 3, 4, 5 years mentally before. Man, my daughter would come home and tell me we weren't looking at houses today, and I thought they were looking for us. No, they were looking for them at that particular point. So
but that's women though.
That's women.
We check out mentally before we actually check out.
Okay. Yeah. And so the dating while divorcing, that's not people that do that. That's not a gender specific thing. That's just an individual thing. A person that tries to do that.
Yeah, I think so.
But you're saying that you wouldn't recommend
I wouldn't
anybody doing that.
I would.
Okay. What's the next one, Disco? All right. What about that one?
No,
Gotta
absolutely.
be
You
patient.
got to be patient.
Okay.
You got to be patient.
I mean, because 28 years,
Mm-hmm.
that's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So if you would have took 7 or 8 years before you decided to date again, you would have been okay.
I know.
You wouldn't have been okay.
Mm-mm.
Why?
Because I like being a wife. I want to be married.
So you're dating with a purpose. That's what I'm saying.
That was great to say.
I thought
that.
everybody said
Dating with a
but who
purpose.
don't date with a purpose?
See, I don't want to say men, but a lot of men don't.
Okay.
A lot of men just date for fun. They don't date.
So we're just dating though.
Yeah.
Dating with the intent. So dating with a purpose is dating with the intention of going into a relationship.
Well, for some of us, not
But
all of us.
But the initial, like you said, initial few dates, you ain't giving up too much information.
Well, after a couple of dates, I know that if it's not the first date, after a couple of days, I know that we will not be having.
So yeah, because we start getting into 4 or 5 dates, and at that point, it should be.
I should know something.
Yeah,
I should know something.
But I think sometimes those disclaimers from the beginning, though, is like you said, you scare people. Not you.
Yeah.
But sometimes women are so abrasive, and I don't like saying women versus men. But there's, I mean, like I said,
it is what it is.
It is what it is. Like when you read some of these dating profiles and stuff like that, they're so aggressive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That, I mean, their testosterone and estrogen levels are up through the roof. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, date me. I want to swipe left harder than I normally would because I wouldn't dare. You know what I'm saying? If it's coming across, I'm dating with a purpose, and don't talk to me unless you're doing this, and if I ain't doing this, and if you're doing this, and
I think it depends on your age too. Like I said, I'm gonna turn 50. So I ain't got time to be playing around. You know, I ain't got time to be dating nobody for no 10 years. I ain't got time for all that. You know what I mean? I think that's ridiculous.
That's the society we live in now.
Exactly. That's the times that we're living in now.
They do common law marriages. Why you got to get married?
Mm-mm. See, I'm old school.
You got kids already. Marriages for procreation.
I'm old school.
Now you want companionship.
Yes.
I get it. And these are rhetorical questions.
And I like being a wife.
You like being a wife?
I like being a wife.
Mm-hmm.
I love being a wife. I love being a mother. I love being a wife. So I love those roles.
Gotcha. Is there another one up there, Disco?
Yeah.
One more, and this is a good one right here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so and this is where I want to really camp out for a little while tonight. So before you can move on, you have to identify where your marriage went wrong. Were you able to do that?
Mm-mm.
You can't identify where your marriage went wrong, so you ain't do nothing wrong.
I'm sure I did. I'm just being honest. I'm sure I did.
So what happened?
But I don't. I'm sure I did something wrong. This is. I just.
So you didn't disagree with this one. So
I didn't agree with it. I think that you should identify where your marriage went wrong, but I'm just saying with me.
Okay.
I can't necessarily tell you where I went wrong.
But you can tell me where he went wrong.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Where did he go wrong? Or am I being too nosy?
No, you're not being too. It's. Let me just put it this way: I'm an alpha female.
Okay.
And I kept growing, and it just got to a point where I needed someone to lead.
And he wasn't the leader that you needed him to be.
Yeah, I needed to be led, and that's not something that good guy.
So no infidelity, none of that. Well, I don't want to put his business out there in the street like that. I don't want to put it.
Mm-hmm.
So there were other factors as well.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So you did your part. You tried to wait it out, and was there an opportunity for correction?
Oh yes, several times. We was married 28 years.
Okay.
So absolutely. But you have people that are prideful.
Mm-hmm.
Correction's not always going to help. Sometimes it's I'm going to do me, and that's just what it is.
So what about mentors? Did y'all have counselors or?
Oh, we tried.
Did you go like professional counseling, or was it like older pastors? And
both.
Both. None of that worked. Had you checked out by then?
I'm the one that pursued, or even has suggested that he went to talk to someone. So So I didn't check out then. I was doing whatever I could possibly do to make my marriage work and for it to be always and forever.
Gotcha.
So
All right. So one of the ones that I did not put up there, well, I don't think I only put up 6 or 7 there, but there was another. Suggestion in the article where it says you need to do the inner work. You remember that one?
yes,
Okay. What do you think about that? What does the inner work look like?
finding out who you are, healing, understanding, understanding the whys, or not even really understanding the whys. I say all the time, I said I've gotten past trying to find the reason. I'm just trying to find the revelation.
Oh, wow.
So so what is the revelation? What am I supposed to get out of this? Who am I supposed to be after this? So a lot of that is a part of the inner healing, taking some time and figuring out what is going on the inside. What do you need to do to be better? What do you need to do to move past this? What do you need to be, especially if you're trying to get another relationship, what do you need to do to make sure that you are who you're supposed to be for that other person?
So tell me this, during this inner work period, this healing period, what does your inner circle look like?
It's small.
Okay.
But
you had one.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely. And my daughter, Chris over there, my godson, I have another, spiritual daughter. I have some people that I'm really, really close to, and I was able to, talk to them. I have a couple, best friends that I was able to go to. So yeah, absolutely.
And they gave you a room to heal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. They gave me room to heal. They gave me room to act a donkey. So, cause I mean, it's that's life. That's life. So,
I like I said, I was stuck on that couch, so I didn't really welcome a circle. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really rock with people like that. My during the initial stages, my pastor, he wouldn't let me be alone. Kirk, what you doing? Come on by the church. And I ain't a bit more want to go than the man in the moon. Yeah. But I think he knew that I needed people around.
Oh yeah,
me.
Absolutely.
He knew he needed to make sure that I ate. Because I probably wouldn't have eaten a lot of days.
Absolutely.
Because we go through depression. Depression sometimes is so much of a form of dysfunction that you become functional in your dysfunction.
Right. Yeah.
And when you become functional in your dysfunction, it in essence becomes a new norm for you. Mm-hmm. And so you operate with that new norm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And that's when sicknesses and all kind of things can come up on you, because you're inviting these stressors, and you're inviting this all this depression on you and all those types of things.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No, I use, and you heard me use the joke, and I'm joking when I say this, saints, but I'm saying it metaphorically. My stress level went down the more my middle finger started to go up.
Yep.
I'm saying that metaphorically, but I had to get to that point where I really wasn't worried about what everybody else thought about me. Because then I messed around and ran into James. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I ran into myself. And then I went, and even during this transition, my ex even noticed a lot of the transition. Mm-hmm. Like, where you been? What's up, man? Where you been?
Absolutely.
Because I had walled myself into a corner. You know what I'm saying? I didn't even know it. Right. Didn't even know it. It's some of the mistakes that I made. There's some mistakes, some testimony. I got some testimonies I haven't told yet. And that I hadn't felt comfortable enough to. Right. Because I say that everybody is off. Only one off limits. I'm not gonna do anything to make my ex look bad.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah. Anybody else, y'all can get it. I don't mean I'm just.
Absolutely.
But my ex, I'm not gonna put her.
Right, and that's the way.
I'm not gonna be. Yeah, I'm not. I'm gonna cover her regardless. However it goes. You know what I'm saying? So, but
that's the way it should be.
Yeah. Yeah. So doing that inner work for me, I did a lot of it alone. Mm-hmm. I did a lot of it alone. I wrote. You know what I mean? I schooled. I inundated myself in school. I tried to keep myself busy. But sometimes busyness is not the same as business. Right. You're not good. It's like pounding sand if you're not, because you're not really doing the work. So I admire you, those that were around you.
Oh, absolutely.
Who provided that care, or that room really for you to grow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I like to use, sometimes friends can be like elastic walls. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? They got to stretch with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't don't be a wall that if I run into you and I'm gonna get a concussion and bump my head,
Right.
but at least be able to absorb my impact.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So and everybody can't handle
No.
my relation, because I know you tell me that I'm to get too smart with people, I'm too sarcastic and all that, but I don't be trying to be. It just comes out like that. I promise you, it's just who I am. Good. So one more, and then I think we're about done for the night. This has been a good subject. We got about 4 more minutes, but one more was saying that you consider seeing a therapist or a counselor. Now this is after divorce. This is after divorce. Would you recommend seeing a therapist or a counselor individually, not as a couple, but after divorce?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, especially if like in your situation where you was depressed, then absolutely you needed to see somebody. I
saw Dr. Jesus.
I had
you know,
my bishop at the time, he's the one that I called on and leaned on, and he helped me through some stuff, and so that was my therapy if I couldn't, so I do think that it's necessary. I think that it helps.
So you said something, you helped me right then. So that not necessarily a doctor therapist, but someone that can provide therapy for you.
Absolutely.
The right friend that can provide wise counsel.
Absolutely.
And that's the mistake that a lot of us make, is we go to wounded people looking for counseling.
Yes.
And sometimes when you go to wounded people looking for counseling, then you end up hurt even more because they'll put stuff in the wound that's not healing the wound.
Absolutely.
They'll infect the wound.
Absolutely, because they can't help you.
They can't help you.
They can't
Two
help
people
themselves.
bleeding together. That's not even a blood transfusion.
Mess.
That's
Absolutely,
a whole
mess. So,
a bloody mess.
Yep,
a
absolutely.
bloody mess. So your advice is to make sure that you consider seeing someone that that loves you enough to tell you the truth. That loves you enough to help pull you up. Not let you stay down there. So absolutely, it's necessary. It's necessary. Gotcha.
To make sure you got somebody.
Honestly, we didn't get to
a whole
piece.
lot of stuff.
We didn't get to the piece of what I wanted to talk about tonight. You know what I mean? I just but what I really wanted to do was I wanted to set the stage.
Okay.
Hopefully for another conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
You'll come back.
Absolutely.
Will you come back?
Absolutely.
So when you come back, though, I want you to do me a favor.
Which
I
one
want
you
you to make sure you have on your
wear my t-shirt.
intellectual student. Y'all see, I got her a t-shirt. So I want you to have your intellectual student t-shirt on when you come back, and so that way I have my black one or my white one on, and then we can sit here and co-host this thing and put together, because I really want to help people.
Okay,
and
absolutely.
I think, and the reason I invited you is because I thought that you and I could kind of be a ransom. Paul said we can be all things to all men, that we might win some.
Absolutely.
And even in the body of Christ, we want to divorce amicably. We still raising kids, and at the end of the day, we still have an overall community to be concerned about.
Yes, absolutely.
And our community right now is so divided, and a lot of it is divided along the lines of black men versus black women. And the thing about that is, what we as a people don't seem to realize is that was a plan that was concocted to divide us. You know why?
Yes.
Because the dividends are in division.
Yes.
All right.
Absolutely.
The dividends are in division. So it's been real. I've enjoyed you. I know you got a nice little ride back tonight, and I appreciate you for coming. I appreciate your driver for coming. I appreciate all your people for listening in on tonight, and we're gonna do it again real soon.
Okay.
We'll check your schedule. What's your schedule look like next week? Let me know. Let me know. If not, we'll do it again. I think I got somebody scheduled again next week, but. Okay, I got somebody scheduled next week, but we're gonna do something soon, right? Hey, everybody, thank you for listening in to the Intellectual Stew tonight. We're not sipping no tea, we're serving stew. And I just want to let you know that the world is changing. The world is changing. Why do you remain the same? I don't understand that. The world's changing. Why people want to keep doing the same thing over and over again? And insanity is doing the same thing
over and over,
looking for different results.
Absolutely.
It don't work like that, right?
No.
All right, so we'll see you next week. Let's see you next week. Thank you all very much.